This Week with Bob Mueller on News 2.
This week,
let her go! Let her go!
Is ridiculous and is an abhorrent overreach and abuse of power by Cameron Sexton of this Republican Party.
another protest at the state capitol leads again to chaos as Speaker Cameron Sexton clears the gallery.
Yeah, I want sunshine. I want public inspection of government records. This was content created by a deranged individual. That's all.
Well, I just have every reason to believe that the judge is going to try very hard to apply the law as she sees it. And she was just stating that, that does not make everybody happy.
A judge heard both sides of the argument for and against the release of the Covenant shooters' so-called manifesto. We now wait for a decision.
I personally do not know of one teacher who wants to carry a gun in a classroom. Please do not pass this bill.
More than a year after the Covenant school shooting, and Covenant moms and others remain steadfast in their goal of making Covenant and all of Nashville safer through common sense gun reform.
It's a horrible bill, but there's a lot of emotions involved, and I think people started to really hear what this bill is about.
A bill being debated would ban Tennessee cities from paying reparations to descendants of slaves and forbid even the discussion of reparations. More in our This Week cover story. Hello again and welcome to another edition of This Week. The fate of the Covenant shooters' so-called manifesto is now in the hands of a judge. Covenant moms continue their quest for common sense gun reform while opposing arming teachers. A bill before lawmakers would outlaw reparations for slavery, but we begin with chaos at the state capitol once again.
Chaos in Tennessee's House again.
Let her go! Let her go!
Is ridiculous and is an abhorrent overreach and abuse of power by Cameron Sexton of this Republican Party.
After every Republican and a handful of Democrats joined together to pass the budget Thursday, Nashville Democratic Representative Justin Jones came up for a procedural question. After some back and forth, Republican leadership alleges Jones called a staffer an offensive name.
Well, we can't repeat that on TV, what he said, so you can take that for what you want.
Jones says House Majority Leader William Lambert threatened him on the House floor.
What did he say? He's like, get out of my face or I'm going to hit you. To me, as I'm saying, he can go sit down because I'm asking Daniel, the clerk, a question that has nothing to do with William Lambert.
Following that, Jones repeatedly called Lambert a racist. Then the gallery chanted Ku Klux Cameron, apparently referring to the House Speaker. Sexton ordered state troopers to clear the gallery, leading to more protests, including from Jones and Memphis Democratic Representative Justin Pearson.
Citizens coming to the General Assembly, sitting in the gallery, holding signs should not equal troopers dragging them out. Like, this is absurd. Like, this is really deeply troubling and problematic.
But you absolutely, as a member, can never harass and disparage an employee of the state of Tennessee. When an employee is standing there trying to do their job, for him to yell insults at that employee was, to me, a line that we don't cross.
As one protester refused to leave, state troopers brought her out by force. THP brought the woman to the ground floor, where a spontaneous protest ensued.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Then law enforcement put her in a patrol car and another protest over Tennessee's House ended. But it certainly won't be the last.
And this is what we continue to see all session, is this targeting and silencing of dissent, making the Capitol this private country club, this palace instead of the people's house. And so we're here to stand with these Tennesseans who deserve to have a right to be in the Tennessee Capitol.
In Nashville, Chris O'Brien.
Parents call it dangerous legislation requiring school employees to report a student's change of gender identity to a parent. News 2's Kendall Eichman spoke with a Wilson County parent.
Every week I come here on the floor and there's some bill bullying gay kids in our schools.
That's the sentiment for those in opposition of a bill that would make it mandatory for school employees to report a student's change in gender identity to their parents.
I feel like the parents they have the right to know what's happening in the school with their children. And I also think that possibly they could get that child some therapy that could help them solve their problems.
Representative Mary Littleton is the sponsor of the bill. The Senate version, recently passed both in the Senate and now the House.
Have you talked to a family in your district with gay children?
No.
It seems pretty par for the course that they don't reach out to the community that these bills are going to affect.
Erin Moore is the chair of the Wilson County, Tennessee Equality Project. She says her voice is falling on deaf ears after she reached out to her own state representative and never heard back.
They're trying to micromanage the classroom. They're trying to micromanage relationships. They're trying to micromanage who people are, and everyone should be very scared.
The bill states that if a school employee knowingly gives false information to a parent about their student's gender identity, the school could face legal action.
And this bill is not about bullying any child or any individual. It is about empowering parents to know what is going on in the life of their children that God gave them.
In Nashville, Kendall Ashman, News 2.
Well, soon Tennessee cities may be banned from paying reparations to descendants of slaves or even studying the possibility of the proposal. It led to moments of chaos in Tennessee's House this week. State Capitol reporter Chris O'Brien brings us inside.
The Tennessee General Assembly is nearing passage of a bill preventing the payment or even just the study of reparations to descendants of slaves.
Don't get mad when they call you racist.
It's been up several weeks in a row and has drawn protesters each time.
It's a horrible bill, but there's a lot of emotions involved, and I think people started to really hear what this bill is about.
The bill defines reparations as money or benefits provided to an individual who is the descendant of persons who were enslaved as compensation for the enslavement of the individual's ancestors. Democrats filed several amendments to try and alter the bill, including kicking the question to local governments. But Republicans beat those back with minimal debate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I ask my fellow members of this body to vote against it.
Previous question on the amendment.
I view the amendment as hostile, and I move it to the table.
Democrats also pointed out Tennessee has a poor history of slavery. The state only recently took slavery out of the state constitution and also removed the bust of KKK Grand Wizard Nathan Bedford Forrest from the state capitol. The latest move is the most recent in a string of bills from Oak Ridge Republican Representative John Reagan targeting minorities, whether it be race or gender related.
He's just continuing to put these nasty, mean-spirited bills before us. And so now I think people are hearing it. I think people are saying, you know, we don't have to do this.
But Republicans have pushed forward anyway, arguing the bill is not racist.
I don't think the bill's racist at all. I mean, I think people have intent on both sides, but I don't think their intent is racist.
In fact, Reagan argued during session last week that he couldn't be racist. In a response to a question from Nashville Democratic Representative Justin Jones on a separate bill,
members of my wedding party were of your race. They were my groomsmen.
In Nashville, Chris O'Brien.
Stay with us. This week continues in a moment.